All right, so I'm here with Amy Peck, CEO of Endeavor XR. We're excited and honored to have you as a speaker, a featured speaker at Immerse Global Summit in Madeira Island, Portugal. So thank you for doing that, first of all.
Very excited about it.
Yeah, and I was hoping quickly we could get a little bit of background, how you got into the XR ecosystem and then what your role is now.
Yeah. Well, I guess it just started when I was first in VR with the very first DK1. And I was with a company called Leap Motion. It had this actually great hand tracking, which is still great today. But our programmers literally duct taped a Leap Motion to the front of a DK1, and I could see my hands in a virtual environment, and I was completely hooked. And then about 2 years later, I jumped off into the abyss of consulting, and here we are.
Awesome. And you have consulted with some of the greatest companies in the world. So I think
Indeed.
It's important to note that. Maybe a couple that you could talk about.
Yeah, no, our clients have kind of run the gamut from pharma companies to automotive companies. We're sitting in the offices of a client that I actually can't talk about, but they're also very exciting. I have worked with most of the OEMs. I did a stint with HTC for a long while. We like to actually work with the hardware companies because it also gives us a lot of context in terms of, how our clients can actually leverage the hardware, and then to give the hardware companies feedback on what the market requires. So that's worked very well for us.
That's great. Yeah, and you're very well tapped into like the entire ISV community, the software, the hardware. So anyone who's attending, it's going to be their pleasure and honored, I think, to get to meet you and hear from you. So you always do a great job on the stage.
Thank you.
And I know that you've been key to bringing some of the great names that are coming to this event too. So I want to thank you for that. What excites you most about Madeira Island?
Well, Anne-Marie Enns, who produces all of this, by the way, she told me about Madeira. And of course, I love Portugal, but I've never been to Madeira. And she said, you have to come. It's absolutely spectacular. So I did, I worked on the Google a little bit and saw, and
Right.
it looks amazing. But in general, I think I've spoken at every single one of the VRARA events over the years. And, they're really important to me. It's an important, piece. Like all of us have grown up together in this industry. I mean, I used to refer to us as the second grade soccer team because we just sort of traveled around in a pack around the VR ball.
Yeah.
But now the industry has expanded so much, and it's just been great to welcome a lot of new voices and a lot of new people to the industry and a lot of new companies to the industry. And so because I travel around so much, I've met amazing speakers and did do some intros. And so I think we have some really, really like fun, great people. And I cherry pick people I like hanging out with.
Awesome.
Because it's all about me.
Well, it's all about great people, right?
True.
And I think we're going to get a unique flavor from the European ecosystem. There's also some great people, like yourself coming to Portugal from the United States and many countries. We probably have at least a dozen countries represented, and it'll probably be 20 plus. So can you give us any kind of a sneak peek on what you're going to be talking about at the conference, or is it all a big secret?
Well, it's a secret to me at the moment because I haven't figured it out yet. I usually put it together a little bit late in the game because there's so many things I care about the industry. One of the things I will touch on, whether it's the focus of the talk or not, will be around self-sovereign identity and how important it is for us to start to manage our data and have our avatars sort of be our representatives in the space and have some control mechanisms attached to that digital representative so that we can manage our data, and that will hopefully start to unlock whole different levels of experience and interaction and communication. So I'm excited about all of these things in this brave new world. We will not refer to the thing that everybody talks about of the brave new world, the slightly overused term. But I am grateful for that certain company for changing their name, because I think what it did do was it put us on a global stage, and it's pushing a lot of things forward, like, regulation and interoperability, and a lot of the structural things that need to happen have been fast tracked. So I'm excited about that.
Sure. Yeah, we talked about this with someone else about a week ago, and love it or hate it. One company really changed and kind of lifted the tides, if you will,
Yeah.
in terms of the awareness of all of this new ecosystem of technologies. But you mentioned something that was really interesting to me, which is, identity. We're going to have some unique blockchain technology companies there. So you don't have to go into all the details now, but is that going to be kind of a key component of this whole ecosystem, you think, this decentralization of data and security in the blockchain?
Yeah, very much so. And I think I've always had a slide in almost every one of my decks that has different images and then one big word at the bottom, and it's convergence, because it is all of these technologies. It's not just blockchain, it's AI, it's immersive technology, and even moving from into calling Immerse Global Summit from its early days of the VRARA Global Summit. It shows what this evolution is. It's not about specific technologies. It's about how we're going to leverage them to improve everything we do, whether it's process or whether it's entertainment and games. And it's really exciting. I mean, blockchain in and of itself, I think, is a very elegant technology. I think because of a lot of the shenanigans that have been going on and the crypto market crashing and things like that, I think there's a little bit of a pall that's been cast over Bitcoin and crypto in general. And so that shadow kind of bleeds into blockchain. But blockchain as a technology is a powerful tool, and we're just starting to scratch the surface of its capability.
Awesome. Very well said. I think, a lot of people correlate it to like Web 1.0 when everybody was a web company, and now everybody's, I'll say it, a metaverse company, right? But we're going through that phase right now where it's weeding out some of the people who weren't really serious or didn't really have the right goals in mind. So hopefully we're at a stage where we'll get more sophisticated and mature over the next few years. And thanks for all that you're doing to move the industry in that direction.
Likewise, thank you. I mean, I joined VRARA, I think I was in the first or second year.
Wow.
And it certainly gave me a lot of opportunity. And you guys were the first ones to kind of put me on stage on a big event. I didn't drool or do anything terrible, I don't think. And you still have me back every year, so I'm grateful for that.
You're incredible every time. And always inspirational too. I think what I like about your talks is that it's not just technology and solutions. It gets people excited for the future and what can be done with it. So it's very fitting, because what we wanted to do with Madeira Island is create inspiration for everybody, like creative inspiration, business growth, technology growth. So again, thanks.
Good. My pleasure. I'm happy to join, and I'm excited to see everyone.